Let's talk about the difference between marketing and operations, especially if you are a freelance virtual assistant or marketing assistant. And should you apply for the jobs that say ops assistant? Hey, I'm Emily Reagan, and I train virtual assistants how to be marketing assistants so they can help their clients with the email, the SEO, the content marketing, social affiliate. So they're in a position to take over the podcast, help with channels like YouTube or Pinterest, and even help their clients with launching. So I'm all about marketing because it gives virtual assistants more time freedom. Marketing is value based, you can charge more, but you're also not tied to the traditional hours of 9 to 5. You can do it ahead of time. It's a little bit more giving because it's work that you can do outside of a traditional office environment, right? You're not tied down to normal office hours. Marketing lends itself to projects. I've done the same work as a military spouse, mom of four, moving a lot. I've been freelancing for over 13 years, helping my clients monetize their talent and then grow, build, nurture, and sell to audiences online. And I love the work. It's part creative, part analytical, and I'm all about empowering women to do the same type of work online so they have freedom and they're contributing to their family and having their own thing. So today on the podcast, I have my friend Ange Quinn. She's been on an episode before, so I'm really excited to have her back talking about operations and really what is it? The whole idea is to empower you so that when you see these jobs, you're not intimidated. You have a background to operations and will apply for some of those jobs that we post, especially in my community, the Digital Marketers Work Group, that say ops assistant or ops manager or very similar titles. And we're going to explain how marketing and operations are actually related. And I want to encourage you to go check out the full episode over on my podcast, Unicorns Unite. We'll put the link to that episode down below because we're going to dive into more conversations about hiring and delegating problematic clients who are micromanagers and give you insight into this world. And Ange and I will talk about this program that we're doing together called Clockwork because she's helping me in my business. So go ahead and hit subscribe to this YouTube channel so you don't miss another episode. I really like to help freelancers set better boundaries, do the back end work in their business and get more clients, but really grow a sustainable business where they're able to concentrate and offer the work they love with the clients they love at rates that are worth it, that are premium. Also, they don't have to be working 60-hour work weeks. Like the whole idea is get out of the 9 to 5 and freelance, and I want to help you do that. If you want to know more about me, I have a Unicorn Digital Marketing Assistant School where I teach the marketing services and help you launch your business if you're starting from scratch or you're coming from corporate marketing and you don't quite understand this whole online space. If you're ready to leave your 9 to 5, that's a good avenue to get up to date. And then I have a Digital Marketers Work Group, our community where we share job leads and we do more advanced trainings that will help you specialize and start commanding those higher premiums. All right, let's jump into our interview with Ange Quinn. Right before we hit record, you were explaining why most people don't really think about operations. So let's jump into it. Most people are concentrated on the marketing side of things, which I am, and we forget about operations. So what is it?
What most people focus on is marketing because they're like, I need more revenue. I need to make more money. I need to make more money, more revenue, higher, double, da 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 da. But I've also been on the back end of businesses where someone focuses on generating more revenue. They come up with this new plan. They launch more often. But on the back end, like that costs you more money. Like revenue minus expenses is profit. And so many people are focused on revenue where they should be focused on their profit margin. You can keep more at the end of the day doing what you're doing, like all your same marketing efforts. But if you actually make your operations efficient and streamlined, your expenses actually go down. Therefore, revenue minus less expenses is more profit to you.
What do you see most people doing wrong in this area?
What I see most pain points, right? Like not having the right people in place or having to micromanage their team. People aren't necessarily good managers or good at delegating, right? Like that you don't naturally have those qualities. You have to learn them or learn how to delegate properly. This is going to sound really, really blunt. We've had this conversation before, but often when I see a business owner say, "Oh, I just have to I just have to micromanage. I'm so tired of micromanaging. I'm just going to do it better. I can just do it myself." It's like that team member that you're micromanaging, it's not them, it's you. If you don't know how to look for somebody who's going to fit the role, that's a step. If you're not onboarding properly, if you don't have that documentation, if you don't give them the permission that they need to do the
Mhm.
things, if you're not clear, we've talked about communication, you and I. It's like if you're not clearly communicating the outcome that you are looking for, and it's all in your head, and then people are coming to you and they're like asking questions, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I'll just do it myself. Like, if they're constantly asking questions, you should take that as a sign of you didn't give them enough information. Therefore, it is still on your plate.
And then you wonder, like, if you get in bed early on with that kind of, I'm just gonna call bad client, like that can ruin you because you think
Yeah.
it's you. And like naturally, a lot of us are people pleasers and we want to show up for, and do our best. And then it's like, what is wrong here? Like, why is this not
Mhm.
working? And I don't want anyone who's listening to this show to think like, oh, it's me.
Usually it's lack of communication. So if your VA is listening and if you're starting out, if you're curious, right? Like sometimes people are tasked something out and they're just like almost scared to try and do it because they're afraid of doing something wrong.
Yeah.
That should be an indicator of I do not have the confidence to do this because I am lacking clarity. I'm lacking information. I don't really understand what my manager is asking me to do. Like, what's the outcome here? Like, be curious and ask questions. And for the VAs who are listening, this is the biggest shift you have to think about in your role. Do not task tasks, task outcomes. This is the other thing. It's like
Yeah.
VAs get scared to do anything that they haven't been tasked to. Likewise, business owners only want the VAs to do what they're told, but then they will flip it and be like, well, how come you can't like think outside the box and do things other than what I tasked you? So it's like a rock and a hard place,
It
right? So
is.
then I understandably the VAs are like, I don't want to do anything wrong. So you have to give them permission within a boundary. Like, this is the outcome I'm looking for. These are my expectations. Give them permission to think outside the box. And, if they come across something that they're unsure of, like that could be a question back to the manager. Not like they should have all of the information that they need. They should have their parameters that they have permission on, and they should understand the outcome.
I feel like I'm seeing more and more jobs for operations assistants
Yeah.
and directors. What is that job about?
What I have seen happen in especially in the operations space, is companies, small businesses get up off the ground. They understand that they're ready to hire VAs to do some of the implementation so they can get their time back. And then somebody somewhere basically said, oh, once you have a VA or two, you now need a business manager, an operation or a OBM, whatever you want to call it, to then manage your team because you don't want to delegate. You don't want to be managing the people. You want to be doing the CEO things. But they're not necessarily there yet. Like, so they
Mm.
hire an OBM and then also expect them to do some of the implementation. And that's when I was in that space years ago, that was like a touchy subject because it was like OBMs shouldn't be doing any VA implementation. But then some people were like, but I like doing it, or I have a hybrid role, or I'm
Mhm.
just going to get a job, so I'll just do whatever you ask, right?
Yeah.
And so the lines get gray on that. And so these operations assistant roles, I feel like are the implementers for the operations manager, right? Like the operations manager is like, I don't want to be doing these, but it's not necessarily a social media manager, or it's not necessarily a copywriter or an admin. Again, going back to like the corporate, we've now decided that there's these roles, there's these titles for these roles, and it has to be this round hole. And we have to find a round peg to fit into the round hole.
Yeah.
But in the online space, like, you can like doing different things. So offer that as your services. You don't need to fit into one role.
I'm trying to have a slightly deeper conversation about what operations really is and what that looks like. So a VA listening to this could have that picture. Like, is it its own department?
Operations, we kind of say, is the back end of your business. It is not client facing. It is keeping things running, keeping automations running, making sure your newsletter goes out the door, whatever.
Okay.
Marketing is the front end of your business. It is what the client sees, or the student or the audience sees. So it is your social media posts, it is your podcasts, it is all of your visibility, whether that's a marketing strategy or implementing that marketing strategy.
Yes.
So it does depend on the size of the business, because I have seen 8-figure businesses where they're like, this is our marketing department, right? Like, there's a marketing director, they have a manager of social media, or like a podcast manager. There's a manager of each different realm. And then they have their teams to do the implementation. So if like somebody's on, if there's like a team specifically for emails, they're going to be putting out the promotional emails, they're putting out the newsletter emails, they are uploading it into ActiveCampaign and setting it to go out, whatever. The podcast team is taking your video. You're not doing anything, you're recording, and c'est la vie. They are doing all the things with it and making sure it gets to production, gets out the door. So there is that marketing side, where operations is going to be your bookkeeper, accountant, but the finances. The finances is not client facing. It has nothing to do with that. It could be scheduling, right? So like in very large companies, there are different realms. In the small businesses that you and I are familiar with, it does kind of mish together, because operations ends up being like, changing the website out when the deadline funnel, or like making sure the landing page works. Like, yes, you can say that's part of marketing, because it's the website, but like
Mhm.
it's the operations of like scheduling it or doing the doing, right? Like, where in those small businesses, then it becomes the operations piece is the system to upload the newsletter every Monday morning, blah, 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 blah. To look at the KPIs, like look at the dashboards, look at all the numbers. There are things that are on the back end that people are doing that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with marketing.
Oh my gosh, this has been so good and so insightful, and I think people will get it, and when they see that marketing operations assistant, they won't be intimidated. Like, they're like, "Oh wait, this is actually what I've been doing this whole time. It's just another fancy title." And that's okay. Hey, before you leave, I have a free marketing guide for you. These are the 10 marketing services I did as a freelancer, helping my clients grow and scale their businesses. It's absolutely something you could offer. Take it, run with it, and build your business. I also want to encourage you to hit subscribe on the YouTube channel so you don't miss another one. And I have a free Facebook community in the links below. You can come join us where we have more conversations. We share job leads, advanced trainings, things coming up, keep you updated on marketing so you are always in the know and able to impress your clients and really cement yourself being the indispensable marketer on their team. All right, I'll see you in the next episode.